Welcome back, guys. Sorry about that. Um, I really want Bebe to be on with us, so I had to go off to let him upgrade the app and do what's necessary, and then join us back. I just spoke with him. I just spoke with Bebe Cool, and he has upgraded, and I'm going to see now if he can join. Yes, he can join us live now. Everybody, I'm just gonna ask you people, come with an open mind, please. Listen to him with an open mind. Let's hear him out before you begin to place your judgment. Or welcome, the big Rasta man. So good to have you on.
Thank you. Sorry about it.
Oh no, the network cannot do this to us. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so apparently my country people are not very happy with you. I don't believe in countries. I believe in one Africa. I believe in one world. And like I said to you earlier, let's address this thing. But before we go into the subject, I'd like people to get to meet you. Like, who's Bebe Cool? Tell us a bit about yourself, what people should know from here.
Well, Bebe Cool is a Ugandan artist, father, husband, and a legendary artist in Africa. I've done music for more than now 28 years. And
How many years?
28 years.
Wow.
28 years in the music industry, been there with the likes of Two-Face, Dibanj, even then before. I'm a national fan. I love soccer. I love watching movies. I'm politically affiliated. I love my. Hello?
Yeah, so we lost you there for a bit. But I mean, I think everyone here must have heard a bit about you. It's good to know you in person. People watch music videos, people see pictures on social media. They don't really connect with the soul of the person they are, the artist, the person behind the artist they are dealing with. And like I always say to people, the few minutes you see in a music video is not the real life of this person. The image you see on social media, there's deeper things. Like now you just said you're a father, you love sports, you're politically affiliated. So there's so much more to Bebe Cool than just being an artist. And I'd like everybody to keep that in mind. Now, straight to the point. I'm going to ask you a very straight question. Right. Nigerians are very unhappy with you, Bebe Cool. It was alleged, we heard that you called the cops in Uganda on some very young artists. I'm particularly mentioning how young they are because when you're young in this career and these experiences could hit harder than when you've been there long enough. So our artists Omale and Thames came to Uganda. They were invited to perform in Uganda. Next thing we heard, they were arrested. And while we were trying to digest that, we had a fellow artist who's supposed to be like a big brother artist to them call the police on them. And, like I said to you, I was mad. I'm like, how on earth? And then I said, how can Bebe, But when my anger came down, I said, but I know Bebe Cool to be different. I mean, you've hosted me in Uganda. We've met a few times. Much before you hosted Harry Song and myself in Uganda, I had met you at the Choral African Music Awards. Like, you're not new in this scene, just like you said. So please, can you tell us what exactly happened? Like, I want everybody to hear from you.
Thank you very much, Vicky, for this time. It was a very unfortunate situation. Definitely being played out by very different people playing it wrongly so that they can safeguard themselves. In this whole saga, it was on Monday morning when I got an advert sent to me that there was going to be an event in Uganda on a Monday morning. I got that. And then I made a post because us in Uganda, we are not performing for the last 9 months. So it would be strange if there's anybody who's organizing a concert of foreign artists in Uganda, and yet local artists have been banned. We've been, trying to reach out to government to release us. Artists are facing the worst scenario in Uganda today, broke for 9 months. You can imagine, Vicky, upcoming artists don't have budgets, okay? But on top of that, 9 months they're not working. Vicky, the music industry in Uganda became it became the only thing that can help the uneducated, the young street boys to survive. Yeah. Okay, and that little surviving, if they have been locked down for 9 months, imagine whoever had started at that time may not even be able to return, even if the COVID period is done. So because of that, I said, no. I'm going to have to, post this so that the authority can look into this. I don't.
Yes. Sorry about that. My phone keeps on ringing. I'm using my phone in the car. So I was like, how can they allow such a thing to happen, yet local artists are not even allowed to touch one single microphone? Vicky, before I go any further, let me give you a simple issue that happened to one of our artists in Uganda called Ziza Bafana. Ziza Bafana crossed from Uganda to go to Tanzania to do a performance, and the next morning, he crossed back to Uganda, and he was arrested by Uganda police, and he was taken to court for engaging in a performance. When Ziza was trying to reach out to government, to police to forgive him, to Ugandan artists, nobody cared. Neither did I. But later on, it hit my heart, and I said, no, this wasn't right. And the reason is because Ziza said in his argument, he said, guys, I'm hungry. I've got children. You know my condition. This is a guy who's being hit by drugs and this and that. So he was seeking for food, nothing else. And government today, up to now, has not come out to support artists. It's just starting now, after all this saga, to support the music industry with some little, finances for support. Yes. So when I saw this, before government has come in to do anything for musicians, producers, entertainers, it felt so bad. I work with government. I support you guys, the in-sitting government, but again, I will not fail to make them where wrong is. So I said, let me post and make sure this doesn't happen in the country, because this will definitely become a political itch for the president again. Remember, we are in campaigns. So when I posted, I said, the authorities should not allow this event to go on, because Ugandan artists have not been allowed to perform. So 2 hours later, a friend of mine calls me and says, you know what, Bebe, put down that post and blah, blah, blah. We spoke a very long chat. And then he's like, you know what, these guys, I'm going to ask them to follow the SOPs. So I said, fine. If they follow the SOPs, it's all cool. Maybe we could actually use this event as an eye-opener for the government to allow artists to start, fetching some little, money. This is December. So it all started like that. I put down the post and waited. That was Monday afternoon. Now, the next time I heard about this event was on Sunday night, when I was being called by friends of mine from Nigeria, including, I won't mention names, asking me to run quickly and save the situation, that the artists had been arrested. Okay. So
let me ask a question. Sorry to cut you here, Bebe. So if I follow what you said, you heard about the concert, and because there has been no concerts for the last 9 months because of COVID-19, you felt it was wrong for them to allow the concert to happen. Ugandan artists are hungry. And so you did a post on Facebook. No, you didn't call the authorities, right? You did a post on Facebook just saying that it shouldn't hold.
Yes. And it was directed to the authorities to stop the event, to stop the concert. But on my finding out when I was called from one of the people from the authorities, I was told that this wasn't a concert. These guys had applied for what they call a branch, okay, and a dinner, and they specifically applied for about 120 people on each. 120 people for the branch and 120 people for the dinner. So my call was a standing call in air because police wasn't going to go to stop people who had applied genuinely for a 120 audience, okay, and a 120 audience dinner, and yet they hadn't done anything. So that's what the police had told me, that, you know what, I think you're misguided. It's not a concert. So I said, okay, fine, cool. So
and this was 1 week before the concert. This was on Monday, 1 week before the concert.
Exactly, exactly. So the next thing I hear, because I didn't go there because I had nothing to do with that event. So the next thing I hear is a phone call from one of my managers telling me, we have calls from so and so and so and so. They're saying you need to come in here and help. Artists have been arrested and they've been taken to a police cell. So it was about 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. 1 a.m. So I called. I started to make some calls, and then until by 4 o'clock, my big guys told me to go and meet the artists and sign bond for them. So Monday morning, because they were arrested on Sunday night. So Monday morning, I had the artists be brought to another station where I was ready to sign bond and everything. But unfortunately, they were being told to leave their passports at the station. So I had to leave that office and go to the big office where the big guy is, who could make a decision to allow the artists to leave the police station with their travel documents. Because I knew that these guys had to travel that day. And again, personally, I knew that the artist actually may not have a single issue in this case, if there is a case to be answered, because definitely the artist stops on stage, okay? I'm not a child. I'm not liable if people come and start fighting in a concert. As an artist, my job is, as long as I don't start the fight, okay? And most especially, I'm supposed to be protected by my promoter and the security in the country. So there's no need for me to think of these foreign artists being the reason why people are surpassing the number 120 to a number reaching 2,000, okay? So I definitely stepped in, made my calls, and the artists were brought. I had to leave, go get that boss, allow them to get passports. Fortunately, they hadn't handed in the passports. So
okay, I just want to take you back a bit. Sorry, because I'm trying to follow the trend of events, not just for me, for people listening. So you made a post on Monday. The event was on Sunday, and you were only called Sunday night to be told that the
event was on Saturday, I think, or Sunday. But then I was called. Yes, I was called the night, I think, after the event, that the artists had been arrested. That was Sunday night.
Because we got the news here early in the morning, and by afternoon already, people were saying, Bebe Cool. I saw 1 or 2 tweets that said, Bebe Cool is responsible for the arrest. Now, first I was worried about Omale and Thames being stuck in Uganda, but when I saw your name, it also called my attention. I'm like, okay, Bebe Cool, what does he have to do with this? So why do you think your name was mentioned from the beginning as being the one who brought about the arrest?
I think it is obvious. I think that answer is obvious. The fact that I was the whistleblower on Monday, okay? The promoter turned it into, he must be the guy who called on us, on police on us. But remember one thing, Vicky, it is themselves, the organizers and the artists, who called the police on themselves. Let me give you a good example. The organizer, actually, Vicky, this concert did not happen in the venue where it was supposed to be. That means the owner of the venue found out that this concert, this is actually not going to be a dinner. It's going to be something with many people. So they refused that venue. They closed on it. So the organizer went into another nearby venue. Actually, not even a venue, a field. Okay? because this concert was supposed to happen in the best hotel in Uganda, that is Munyonyo, okay? And then,
Yeah.
if it didn't happen there, they took it to the hall. Ask yourself, why didn't the concert happen there? Is it still Bebe Cool who called the owner of the hotel and told the owner of the hotel, don't allow that concert in there? No, it's not. It is because there was something being done by the organizers. Now, to me, what happened there is the mistake is by two people. The organizer and again the artist, Omale, posted a picture of himself with thousands of fans, no mask, and it went straight viral from that second. So it was so obvious. It was a selfie of him on stage, okay? So for me, I saw all those things, and I think all of you people saw that. And then again, there was a video of the event, okay? So basically, they called the police on themselves.
Okay, so yes, I saw that picture. It was a selfie picture of Omale on stage, but I guess as an artist, Omale was just excited about a successful performance.
Yeah,
remember, he's also quite young and new, so he was excited to show the love he got from Uganda. Now, my point is, so I understand COVID-19. Even in Nigeria, we were on lockdown for maybe 4 months. It's just recently that we started having the cinemas open. The entertainment industry, I said to people, entertainers suffered the most from this pandemic. However, for example, in Nigeria, the lockdown had eased off. So I'm going to ask you a direct question. Do you think that Omale and Thames should be liable for this event? Because if you look at it from this side, they are just artists. They were paid to perform. They were only respecting their contract. You know, they've paid them to do a job in another country. They pack their bags, they get into the plane, they go to that country to do the job they were paid for.
Let me
do you think they should be held liable? Because maybe, sorry, let me just mention, maybe they don't even know how bad things are in Uganda in terms of entertainment. Isn't it the promoters who know that events shouldn't be happening, who misled the people saying it was a dinner, who now went to do an audience? Omale and Thames may have just arrived that night and gone straight to the venue without even knowing what the laws in Uganda say. So, and this is Omale and Thames liable? Isn't it the promoter that is liable? Shouldn't the promoter have even stopped them from posting pictures? Because they are just artists. They don't know.
I personally wish you're the kind of a person who was in this center of this whole thing. It wouldn't have gotten where it got. Because, I mean, you're using the right mind to question or to ask the right questions. Was the artist liable for this? Now you also, with this question, you'll get the answer that you might have another question for Bebe Cool that says, how did I get the artist, or did I get the artist out of there? Let me tell you something. The artist had nothing to do with the wrongdoing. The artist stopped on stage. And that's the only reason why, when I was arguing out my case with the DPP, I asked the DPP, yes, the artists have been involved in this activity that can easily cause all this, because by the laws in Uganda today, you're all liable, okay? If you get involved in such an event, whether innocently or whatever, as long as the event is dangerous, if it is putting people of Uganda in danger or at risk, you're all liable equally. But to tell you the truth, if you look at how the events went out, the artist signed a contract of 120 people. Even if it was many people coming in, yes, the artists got excited and did whatever they did. It was their part to only perform and do whatever they did. But at this state, at the same time, okay, I come in to blame the management of the artists, because when you hear a whistle being blown by a major person in a country about something that you're going to be involved in as a foreigner, first thing you should run to the embassy and then call the promoter, sign an is it called an indemnity something, sign a document that makes you, that safeguards you from any happenings. Because, for example, you as an artist, you also question, why are they changing venue? Okay? You as a management, as management, the artists actually are totally innocent, because before the artist does anything, the management allows them to do or not. So there was some laxity there where management did not do their part. Because had the management run to the embassy before the event, the embassy would have protected the artists and the Nigerian crew in case of anything. Okay? That was about the whistleblowing. Now, again, the issue of who was in charge of who's responsible for all this trouble, of course it is the promoter, because the promoter knows very well that whoever is involved, actually, let me surprise you, even the people who are supposed to be arrested, the attendees, the audience, the only lucky part is this activity, the police came in the next day. Okay? But had police come in the presence of those people, they were going to be put on the police patrol cars, all of them to jail, because that has been happening in Uganda since March. If they catch you people in numbers, whether you're a lady putting on a short dress, whether you're whoever, you go on the police patrol straight to jail. They pay 400,000 per person to come out of police or out of the police cells. That's what is happening in Uganda. So I believe that's why the artists were also taken in. But for me, as an artist, definitely it did not make it didn't make me feel good about it.
Yeah.
And I definitely, let me tell you, I didn't know Omale, I didn't know the Thames. No, I just got to know them and an advert that I was sent to that Monday, the one that brought about my post. So that means I have nothing personal to anyone. I'm 43 years old. Why would I be going for an 18-year-old or 19-year-old, upcoming artist? I'm just a man in my own world. But because I have phone calls from friends of mine in Nigeria, because a fellow artist has been arrested, and because the promoter needs to find a person to stick all this trouble on. For example, remember, Vicky, I posted on Monday. So definitely from that post, the promoter told the artists and the Nigerian crew that that guy does not like this event. So I'm not surprised I'm not surprised this ended this way. They had to come up and say, "Bebe called on us police." I don't work in police. I don't call on that. I don't tell police what to do. No.
And even your post wasn't about, arresting them. If it's just the post, you were trying to call order. Okay, I'm going to ask you a straight question for clarity, Bebe Cool. And I think this is a yes or no answer. Did you call the police to arrest Omale and Thames for any reason?
Nah.
No.
No.
Because I want people to hear it clearly. Like, did you call the police to arrest? Or I know you were unhappy. Rules were being broken. Lives were being were being compromised with COVID-19. We know the dangers and all of that. And nobody is above the law. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not encouraging people to break the law or anything. But I'm just wanting to know, did you call the police to arrest Omale and Thames?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Wow. It's sad. I can see a misrepresentation of facts from the beginning. You did a post without even knowing the artist, or you were just trying to say, let's stop this danger, and then you backed off the scene. But because, Vicky, like you said,
and Vicky, let me cut you short a bit. And I regret the fact that no one listened to me on that Monday. Because had they listened to me on that Monday, or had they just took that post serious as the owner of the hotel did, none of this would have happened. None of it. You just imagine if they just became curious about that post. Would all that happen? It wouldn't.
I get you. So at times it's better to prevent rather than looking for the enemy. It's better to do our background check. And let me just pause here. I think this is a big lesson for talent managers, including myself.
Exactly.
So when you get called for a show in a country, it's important to do a background check on the promoter, and then maybe get the promoter to sign an indemnity, indemnifying your artist from whatever liabilities that could come up. So when you have that, at this time, what we'll be talking about is suing the promoter. Not talking about, because, I mean, he has traumatized these young artists who, you know,
Yes,
when you're in trouble in your country, you have an uncle, you have an auntie, you have friends to call. When you're in trouble in a foreign land, it's a totally different experience, I can assure you. So I'll say if we had an indemnity form signed, by now what we'll be doing is suing the promoter, for example, for trauma for
exactly,
Omale and Sen. So one lesson
exactly.
there, guys, while we are pointing fingers and while we are angry, I think there are lessons to learn from every situation.
That's true.
As talent managers, we must do our background check. We must also get, especially in a foreign country, indemnity forms ready for promoters to sign. And maybe when you get to foreign countries, it's also important to identify with your embassy in those countries, no matter
Fast
what country
before,
you're from,
yes, that's
so
true.
that the embassies are where you're there, and then the embassy, can team up to support you. Okay, baby, cool. I'd like to know, what part did you play in their release? You were about to explain that, what part you played in their release before. Guys, I can see your comments. We'll come to the comments, but please calm down. It's One Africa. I'll always say one love, and there is no problem that is beyond resolution if we are only open to listening, and giving each other a chance. Okay. So, baby, what part did you play in their release?
Well, basically, in the last 28 years or 30 years of my life, the number one thing I've learned is to get close and make friends that matter in life. I didn't focus much on becoming rich and having money, but I focused on having big friends in positions and everywhere. So I'm one of those guys who is strategically
Okay.
positioned. So my part was number one, to see that the artists are out immediately. I didn't care when
Okay.
the bail was supposed to, when they were supposed to come back, because they were supposed to actually come back in 48 hours. But I wanted them out, let's say in 6 hours. Okay. So what part did I play? I definitely went and wrote a letter with to the police. Okay. I requested the police to separate the cases, to separate the case of the artist and the case of the promoter. Okay. Because it is called a charge sheet. Okay. Now, let me, Vicky, tell you how these artists ended up in jail. They ended up in jail because the promoter knew that if she doesn't have the artists on her charge sheet, she may stay longer in prison. So she knew that if the
Okay.
artists stay on the charge sheet, there's going to be a lot of noise. So that same charge sheet will be called, and they'll be called out earlier out of jail. You get my game?
Okay.
So
Mm.
that's exactly what happened, because for me, when I went to start my process of seeing that the artists are out, that's when I found out that these guys have all been put on the same case, which is wrong.
Okay.
Even if the artists were supposed to be charged, they are not organizers. So the charge sheet is supposed to be different. So my
Mm.
first fight was to separate the charge sheet. Once I did, I went to the DPP, that is the Director of Public Prosecution, and made my case. When I made my case with a lawyer or two, after making my case, the DPP agreed with me, and then the DPP asked me to ask the RSA to send the file. Okay. Now the process of releasing a person from jail or from a cell is different from the process of releasing a person from a jail. Even if you
Okay.
have your paperwork done well, paperwork can only take 24 hours to have it ready. So my
Okay.
part was to make sure that I activate on the speed. Okay. So the RSA gave in the file. I went, made sure that the file is worked on quickly. I mean, Vicky, when I get in your office and you know this is Bebe, you're going to pay attention to me quicker. So things happen very quickly. We got the paperwork done, the right processes, the scans, and then we got there's a seal, because to get people out of prison, there's a major seal you get. So once the seal was done, I had to rush back to the RSA's office. Me and the RSA went back to the court, and the court had to write a different document, and the document had to be taken for a second seal and signed by the judge. And again, at that moment, because I knew time was flying, I needed the artist out before 5 o'clock. I had to ask the judge to allow the artist not to come back to the court. Because usually what happens is when you have the paperwork, you go get the artists and then bring them and lay them again in front of court, and then the judge will waive off the cases. But for this case, that's not what happened. For this case, we were given consideration that it's okay now, you can just go pick them up and take them to the embassy. So that was about 5 o'clock. And once I got the paperwork at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I posted the paperwork to put all the pressure down so that Nigerians can know that, you know what, our guys are now safe in the next 1 hour. So we definitely headed to the jail and picked them up.
Okay, so I know, I mean, I've met you both in Uganda, in Nigeria, in South Africa, and I know you have a large team. I mean, I remember you taking us to a club where they had to evacuate everybody on one side just because Bebe Cool came. So you could have sent your team, but are you, no, I remember that day and I was asking you, Guy, are you some sort of president here? So are you saying you went by yourself? I'm asking all these questions, Bebe, be patient with me, because it's a very sensitive issue. I know that both Thames and Omale, you may not be happy with the reactions one or two people have had since this happened, but I also know that as young kids, they are quite traumatized, and if not for anything, for the sake of the reasonable people who would listen and learn from this process, I would love the facts to all be stated clearly. And I know you're not a small boy, so you, from the way you've spoken, you're not trying to lie or to please anybody. So are you saying you went by yourself to do all this paperwork from office to office, you know, to get the charge sheet splitted to the court? You went by yourself in person to do all of this?
Let me tell you what happens in this process. In this process, the person who begins the process is the only person who gets the document, is the only person who can get the whoever is in prison out. Had it been another person in the process of the paperwork, there's no way that paperwork would have been in my hands. For example, if it was the Nigerian embassy working out a diplomatic format with the Ugandan foreign ministry, okay, there's no way that ministry can give me, or the Nigerian embassy can give me paperwork and tell me, you know what, Bebe, you go and release them. No. The whole thing is, I had to be the person. Once I began the process and the lawyer explained to me, the judge was not going to give that paperwork to anyone because it is me who allayed that later. It's me who did the process. So after receiving that, it had to be me to go to the prison, okay, to receive the artists or to get the artists out. And that's how I had the documents. So it was definitely me throughout the whole process.
Okay, yeah, I can imagine how you feel having gone through the legwork yourself to now be called out again after that. I think there's been a huge miscommunication and misunderstanding here. Wow, I don't know, I'm sorry to all parties. Again, I saw a tweet from Thames where she said she saw you smiling with the policemen at the police station. I don't know how this is interpreted, but I don't know if you know what time she was talking about.
I think it is a very wrong thing to interpret people's facial expressions and happiness and sadness. I mean, how dare you think that when I go to a police station, I'm supposed to be mad at police? This is where Africans go wrong, or you know, humanity goes wrong. Just because you're at a police station, actually, you're better off smiling with police when you're at the station than when you're angry. Because when you're smiling, you put tension down. So the expectation from yourself or the kind of conversation you're going to have is going to be from a friendly level. So as Bebe Cool, I don't think I'm supposed to have been at the police station with a gloomy face. You imprisoned Nigerian artists. What? That would have made even issues worse. And I can guarantee you, the same attitude is the reason why those artists were taken to prison, because the promoter and the family of the promoter spent the whole night at the police, abusing the police, the policemen. So that kind of attitude never solves any problem. A smiling face always solves a lot of problems, because before anybody starts to attack you, the smiling face will always be, you know, cheeky and you know, and then. And Bebe is like that, because I respect policemen. They do their work, no matter how, you know, poor they are, no matter whatever happens, no matter what condition. But the best attitude is to always be with a calm face, a calm voice, and a smiling face when you're in trouble, because then you have a chance for people to listen out to you.
I agree with that, though. In problem solving, the attitude is not necessarily always anger. You might
Exactly.
actually escalate things further. So with that, I
Uh-huh.
think I can understand. Okay, and then there was also this tweet, baby, just be patient with me, yeah. There was also a tweet
It's
where she
okay.
said, and I quote, this is very sensitive, that in the car when you people were driving back, which means you took them in your own car, I mean, to take them. But she said you said something about Ugandans love Nigerians, but Nigerians do not love Ugandans as much. That's a heavy statement.
I think
Can
I
you?
think she lied because first of all, I didn't pick up Thames in my car. I only picked up the two
Okay.
boys because both of them were put in two different facilities. I asked the lawyer to go pick up the lady. I gave the lawyer a female policewoman to go to the facility of the lady and pick her up. And then I personally went alone to pick up the boys. So I have not spoken about Nigerians loving Ugandans or not loving Ugandans and Ugandans. The thing is, there was a lot of issues that were happening. And
Yeah.
you know, back here in Uganda, Bebe who makes a lot of the news, and negative comes always because of my political affiliation with the government. So people pump things into others. But I can guarantee you, when it comes to that issue, if you ask me, do you, if it is you to ask me, do you think Ugandans love Nigerians or Nigerians love Ugandans? That would be a question I would love to answer.
I want to ask you, Bebe Cool, do you love Nigerians? Do you have a problem with Nigerians? Are you one of those people who think Nigerians are too ambitious? Do you love Nigerians? I'm asking you now on live.
Ah, beautiful. Now, let me tell you something. I love Nigerians because of one thing. Nigerians don't stop at anything. They will pass through anything, and that's Bebe Cool's attitude in life. Okay? Nigerians are so aggressive. I don't like so many things they do, of course, in some places where they become funny, cheeky, you know, dubious, deals here and there, blah, blah. But I mean, them, they have a different way they're doing it in different countries. For example, if they're these guys who hit a lot of money and then blah, 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 they're doing it in such a way that they're not harming people's lives. Okay? They can steal the money, they can do whatever they do, but they're not hurting people's lives. They're not stabbing anyone, they're not killing children, they're not doing anything. They're just being aggressive and clever. So that in the world has put Nigeria somewhere. Nigerians are so many out of the borders of Nigeria in the rest of the world, which has given Nigeria a stand that no one else has in Africa. So instead of hating on a person like that, I believe in learning from a person like that. So for me as an artist, baby, there's no way, no, I don't even have a reason to hate Nigerians. Why would I hate them? After all, they have what I want. They have what I want. So I'm supposed to get closer to them, take a piece of cake, and then that's it. So
So you
only
love
that
Nigerians, and you think
I,
Ugandans love Nigerians.
Ugandans love Nigerians, but Nigerians have one thing: they're not sharing equally. They're not giving Ugandans a cake.
So you want to collect our cake. Just
No.
adding to this, right? I was in Uganda to
Mm,
shoot a music video, and on the set of that shoot, my phone was stolen. It was a new phone. I was hurt. But I didn't say Ugandans are bad. I didn't say Ugandans are thieves. I recognize that there are thieves everywhere, irrespective of which country or what part of the
yes.
world you come from.
Yeah.
So what I said is one guy stole my phone. I can't generalize it. I can't begin to say,
Mm,
fear Uganda, they are thieves. No, people from everywhere steal. So in the same way some people say Nigerians are aggressive, Nigerians are cunning, you will find thieves everywhere in the world, even in America, even in London, even in UK. And so I prefer to take each case as a unique case rather than generalizing the whole country,
I agree with
based on
you.
my
I agree with
experience with
you.
one person.
I agree with you. But one thing you must know is no matter what it stands like, it's always good to admire a person who is ahead of you. Nigeria music industry is ahead of Uganda's music industry. And as Bebe Cool, I started working with the likes of Clarence Peters and all the high-level directors you have in Nigeria. Long years back, 15 years back. The reason was because I needed to learn. Right now, I spent about $800,000 to go buy cameras, to go buy equipment, that Clarence Peter uses when I take him to South Africa. What am I doing? I'm trying to get that Nigerian thing and put it in my country. So that shows you how much I'm interested in, putting these industries together and learning from the better. So this aspect of saying, don't like these artists and they're, no, it doesn't, I don't care. I mean, I've been with the P Square, the band, and these are the guys that give me, by the way, in all these things, I can guarantee you, Vicky, that the biggest voices know who I am. They know that these things can't happen around Bebe Cool. My job, I expect this negativity to come. It's not that I don't expect it, because, in Uganda, when you do good things, you're the one supposed to suffer for doing good things. So, again, I won't blame the artist. For example, she went ahead and ranted on Twitter and said every vulgar word and blah, blah. But I know she was misled. And as she grows up, she will understand that in life, there's a better way to handle things. I like the way Omale handled this whole situation. I mean, after apologizing, after writing all that big letter apologizing, he kept quiet, apologized to the fans for putting them in danger and blah, blah, acknowledging being part of a process that would have had their own fans in trouble. Okay? So the problem with the management on the ladies' side is they acted and reacted kiddish. Okay? Which could have actually sent them into trouble if they were in Uganda. Because I'll give you a good example, Vicky. Can you believe I was slapped? So
the network, we lost him there for a bit.
We
you
can't
you
believe.
For a minute, baby.
Okay, I was saying, can you believe what happened inside the embassy? I was slapped and kicked. So if you don't want Bebe to enter the embassy, you have a gate man, you have rules and regulations. But when I drove the artists inside the embassy, you opened the gate. And then you allowed me to walk through the stairs up to the meeting room. So if you want me out, gently, I will get out and that's it. But then touching me, even if at that moment I'm in Nigeria, it just portrays a wrong kind of a reaction. I know the tempers were high. I know people were over, whatever. But in life, these are things we expect. And then again, this whole thing did not happen because we all wanted it to happen. This happened because of COVID. Okay? So at the end of the day, this message is important for people to know. So many things are going to go wrong. But they are not specifically going to go wrong because people want them to go wrong. It's because of the situation that we are in right now. So we expect people to be angry. People are losing businesses, money, family members, and everything. So we're going to deal with people at all levels of thinking. So it's just how to handle it.
Oh my God, the network is not letting us be great. But I'm just going to recap quickly. Bebe has said something important. He acknowledges that the Nigerian music industry is ahead of the Ugandan music industry. And what he's been doing is trying to get closer to the Nigerian industry, at least to learn and help the Ugandan music industry to grow. So he has said he loves Nigeria. I see a lot of questions asking if he called the police on them. He has said he didn't call the police on them. I wasn't there. I'm just repeating what he has said by himself. And he even said he got them released by himself, got the charge sheet and everything done by himself. And when he got to the Nigerian embassy, he was kicked out and pushed around, which isn't a good thing either ways. I know that tempers are high and everything, but I think as a generation, we must learn to sort of control our tempers. Two wrongs don't make it right. And if you gaslight, if we infuriate, we only make things worse. Imagine that he reacted to the instant violence there. Things could have gone worse again. So, like I said at the beginning, I think there's been a huge miscommunication. I think what I'll say here is let love lead. I'm waiting to see if Bebe Cool's network gets better. Bebe, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh yeah. Clearly.
Okay, so I was just saying, even to you, I know you're a bit unhappy with the tweets that may have come from Thames. I admonish you as an elder to understand that this was a young lady who is probably reacting to the trauma of what she went through in jail. So don't hold it to heart. I believe we will still shake hands, you know, and be friends again. One Africa, we're together. And most importantly, the entertainment industry is meant to unite us, not to tear us apart. Even though Nigerians are loving
That's true.
people, the way they all rallied around for the release of Thames and Omale should speak volumes to you. So please, baby, I'll urge you to let things slide for now. And when tempers are totally down, I'm sure we'll be able to find a middle ground to, you know, pass on the apologies and shake hands and be friends again. And I'm urging all my Nigerian brothers and sisters, trust me, I'm an Aluta queen. Oh. When I heard about the arrest, I was mad. You know, of course, I know we should respect the COVID rules and everything, but I'm like, why do you go arrest these kids out there? I didn't have some of the background information that Baby Cool just gave us now, but in my head, I'm like, why? They were only paid to do a job and they went to do their job. Now I understand a few more things. Nothing makes it right, you know, for them to have been arrested, but we also need to look ourselves in the mirror, tell ourselves the truth, and take the precautions that we also need to take. Bebe, I'm going to take this on a lighter note. I know you have collaborations with Nigerian artists. You have friends and fans from Nigeria. I'm a fan, you know, so I hope this whole incident hasn't spoiled things, hasn't shut the door in your mind for future collaborations and things like that.
Not at all, not at all. Come on, we're brothers. We've been together in Africa for a long time, trying to raise the flag of Africa as different artists in different countries. It is. I see this as a picture bigger than just a fight between Uganda and Kenya. I mean Uganda and Nigeria, but also people should know that this is just a small thing. It shouldn't bring tension in people's hearts and minds and personal issues and blah, blah, blah. No, these are the experiences that artists will go through either way. So because we expect them in one way, I know there's trauma, there's this and that, and that's what we go through. I remember when I was shot in Uganda, I was, you know, innocently shot. But then I know that when you move at night, in you know, situations of people who drink, you expect any trouble, either car accidents or arguments or fights and blah, blah. So it only went a bit overboard. But again, the most important thing is all of us are safe and sound. And the picture, the friendship is not hurt. And I'm very happy that all the big artists and the stakeholders are not really taking this as a personal issue.
Okay, for us, we are just happy that our Omale and our Thames are back in Nigeria. They are safe and sound. And I must do the honorable thing by saying thank you for the part you played in their release, because for me, that was the most important part, getting them back home safe and sound. And so if you took it upon yourself and went around to ensure that they got released and they got handed over to the embassy safely, I must take the bold step of saying thank you either ways. I see you released the new song some days ago. Is it possible for us to listen to it? What's the name of the song? I'm trying to put things on a lighter note, guys. Relax. 2020 has been hard enough. Let's not make it harder for ourselves.
Yeah, the new song is called Surrender. Of course, it's in Luganda, and it's one of the songs that my new video will be coming out tomorrow. I have a direction where I want to head. I'm doing videos of Ugandan places so that, you know, I can sell my country, because we have beautiful places and we had not focused on that. I went to the US and shot 2 videos in 2 different places, and Ugandans loved it, Africans loved the videos and everything. But there was a mission behind that. What I wanted to do was to come back in Uganda and shoot in these beautiful places and show the difference. Because we, as Africans, we have that mentality. We think America is the heaven. We think everything should end that side. We even forget to value what we have here. So this song that I did, Surrender, I shot it at one of the best getaway places in Uganda. It is just like 30 minutes away from Kampala, but you won't believe what you will see. So the excitement for me for this song is more or less not the song, but the picture of the place where I shot it from. And my next 10 videos are going to be focusing on the aspect of tourism, of showing Africa and the rest of the world what Uganda looks like.
Okay, so does the song Surrender have anything to do with this whole Thames and Omale? Or should I go
No,
and play it to understand if it does?
not at all. It's a love song. It says, I
Okay.
surrender, I put up my hands. Baby, you can touch me wherever, take me wherever you want. That's what the song says.
Okay, I wish you could play it from your car. But guys, please go stream Baby Cool's song. Let's embrace the Ubuntu spirit. Ubuntu, one
Beautiful.
Africa. We
One
all need
Africa.
each other to stand. We all need each other to survive. And the fact that there's a
That's true.
misunderstanding today doesn't mean that we can't make it up to each other by being there for each
Yeah,
other
that's
tomorrow.
true.
So,
That's
so
true.
guys, please take it easy. I was going to ask something else again. I was checking you out today again, and I saw that you were nominated at the Mamas
Oh, yeah.
as the best Ugandan artist. Are there any other categories you were nominated for?
No, it is that category.
Okay. So is the Mamas going to happen amidst the COVID lockdown, or has this Thames and Omale situation now helped your government to maybe relax the rules for entertainers and maybe put other precautions on ground that can say, okay, yes, don't make artists to go hungry totally, but they need to do XYZ to be able to have their shows?
I think the mamas have nothing to do with the Omaletem situation, and it didn't even get connected. Actually, the phone call that I first got was from MTV, because they're concerned about the fact that there's an artist in danger. But the whole situation is totally different. Everything, MTV is a professional, entity. They had their game plan already down. Their event is not supposed to, it's a scientific event. In Uganda, we call it a scientific
Oh,
event. It's not for crowds. It's not for, it's
it's online.
basically, exactly, it's an online event. So there's nothing different going to happen. They've done everything the right
Okay.
way, and we're all going to be online for that day.
Yeah, I remember I produced an event co-produced with Afrima Awards for the African Union on Africa Day. Everything was online. We had artists perform from like 10 different countries, and it went really well. So I think the world is beginning to embrace that. Bebeku, thank you so much for your time. There's so many questions coming here. I don't know if you have 1 or 2 minutes to take 1 or 2 questions from the audience, or do we just let the sleeping dog lie and leave it at this?
Let's give them an opportunity. Just 2 questions and then we're done.
2 questions. So please, if you have a question, can you put it up now and let Bebe answer your question by himself? I don't want to be speaking on his behalf. We're going to take 2 questions. There's been so many sliding up. So please, if you have a question to ask Bebe, just type it here now, and we're going to take your questions, 2 of them. I see, Bebe, we love you. Someone says, who is Thames? Please, no Thames slander will be allowed here. We are preaching Ubuntu. We are preaching one love, one Africa. Just the way no Bebe Cool slander will be allowed, no Thames or Omale slander will be allowed, guys. Let love live. So I'm going to take another. Someone else say, who is Bebe? Yeah, all of you. So I'm going to take a question that is objective, at least, from. And if I keep seeing these questions that are sounding angry and egoistic, I'm going to take it down the whole time. Someone says you should apologize to Thames and Omale, but you can't force a grown man to apologize, my dear. And from his explanations, I asked him directly, 1, did you call the police on Thames and Omale? He said no. Secondly, there's no bigger apology than the fact that he went by himself, dedicated his time for 24 to 48 hours to get their release sheet in his hands and get them back in their embassy. I think that's a big statement, guys. So please, let's be a bit reasonable. And I think Bebe is also, he's not a tough person. Apology doesn't make him smaller. So Bebe, do we say sorry to Nigerians? I'm saying sorry to Ugandans if my Nigerians have been in one way or the other spoken down, if there's been an unsafe fight. Do we say
Definitely
sorry
we
to Nigerians if
apologize.
they feel hurt one way or the other, Bebe? Just to lighten
Exactly.
things.
Oh yeah, we say sorry to all our Nigerian brothers and sisters for the incident that went on. And we believe that there's better for us as a, one Africa than our own individual egos and whatever. So it's so cool. Sorry about your feelings that were hurt, and likewise, my fellow Ugandan people. Let's be one. Let's just think better now. Allow me to
Someone
round off.
says don't apologize, baby, but I'm saying please apologize. You did the right thing on behalf of your country. An apology makes you a bigger person. So I like that you've done the honorable thing, even though you have made it clear you didn't call the police to arrest them and you personally ensured that they were released. You did all the footwork by yourself. Guys, Bebe is a big man in Uganda. This is not me blowing trumpet. So even when I called him to holler him, when I heard he was the one who I called him to register my displeasure, and when he told me the facts, I could understand because I know him one-on-one, and it would be unreasonable for him to call the police on two young Nigerians. He was in Nigeria last year to shoot a video with Rude Boy. He's done a video with
This
her.
year
He's
in
got projects
January,
and big plans. So
I
someone
was
said,
in
will
the
you say
day.
collaboration with a Nigerian? Someone is holding you on stand here to give a Nigerian a collaboration as your way of supporting Nigerians. Bonkers.
Why not? Definitely, yes.
So Cass, he has said yes to your collaboration. I think we want so many things today. Baby, I know you're a busy person. I'm going to let you go. If you have one last word for your fans listening from Nigeria and Uganda, please give us your last words. And like I said to everybody, Ubuntu. We're one
Ubuntu,
Africa. Let love lead.
one Africa, guys. Let's fight together as Africans to, raise the flag higher. And let's just always look forward to the better, no matter what we go through. I love my fans. Go out there, look out for my music. Guys, tone down. Let's show each other love. One Africa, one love.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored to have spoken with you. Have a blessed day. Regards to your beautiful wife, baby. And see you in Uganda when all of this COVID is over.
Yes, I can't wait.
Bye.
Bye-bye.